preparing to move people out of major cities, but not to save them. They wanted the major population centers wiped out. Art tried to calm him down, tried to get him to slow down and explain, but the caller was past the point of reason. He'd seen something, and whatever it was had broken him. And he was mid-sentence when the line went dead. The caller was cut off mid-word. One moment he was speaking, then nothing. Silence. It wasn't just the phone call that died. Art Bell's entire show went offline. Coast to Coast AM broadcast via satellite uplink. The signal traveled from Art's trailer in Pahrump to a transponder on GE-1, a communications satellite built by GE Americom, parked in geostationary orbit 22,300 miles above the equator. From there, it bounced back down to Earth stations operated by the network, which fed the signal to over 500 affiliate stations nationwide. The system was solid, professional, built with redundancies. It almost never failed. Art had been on the air for years without a major technical dropout. The system was built to keep working through storms, through equipment failures, through almost everything. At the exact moment the caller was about to reveal something, the satellite link cut out. Across America, millions of radios went silent. The signal just vanished. Art scrambled in his studio, checking monitors, looking for any explanation. The carrier signal was gone. He switched to backup phone lines and called the network. They were panicking too. The Earth station had lost its lock on the satellite. The technical crew couldn't explain it. A dropout that sudden and complete meant either a massive energy surge or a targeted jamming signal. Something had reached up into space and killed the connection. Art eventually got back on the air, and he was shaken. The timing was too perfect, too precise. The caller had been seconds away from saying something specific, and at that exact moment, someone or something pulled the plug. Not a guy in a basement with a radio jammer, and not a freak store. You don't accidentally knock out a geostationary satellite transponder. That takes real hardware. That takes someone who knows the uplink frequency, the beam footprint, and has the power to overwhelm it. Someone didn't want the caller to finish that sentence. The frantic caller incident became one of the most chilling moments in radio history, and it spread the way things spread in 1997, slowly, through word of mouth, tape trading, and early internet message boards. There was no YouTube, no Reddit, no social media. People dubbed copies of the broadcast onto cassette tapes and mailed them to friends. They posted about it on Usenet groups and proto forums dedicated to Coast AM. The audio circulated through a network of true believers who treated it like contraband, forbidden information passed hand to hand. Art Bell's audience was loyal and obsessive. They recorded every broadcast. They cataloged them. Within weeks, the frantic caller tape was the most requested piece of audio in coast-to-coast history. People listened to it hundreds of times, dissecting every word, every breath, every moment of silence before the signal died. A few weeks after the incident, a man called Coast AM. He said he was the original caller. He said it was all a hoax. He was an actor who had gotten carried away with a performance, and he wanted to set the record straight. The audience didn't buy it. The second caller sounded different. The voice was similar, but not the same. The rhythm was wrong. The original caller had been hyperventilating and sobbing and speaking in fragments because he couldn't catch his breath. The second caller was calm and smooth. He laughed at the right moments. He sounded like he was reading from a script. Longtime listeners, the ones who had played the original tape over and over, noticed it immediately. His pitch was slightly off. The vocal tics didn't match. The raw animal terror of the first call was gone. Art Bell himself seemed unconvinced. He let the second caller talk, but he didn't push back hard, and he didn't endorse the explanation. He moved on. The audience took that as a signal. It felt like damage control. The theories multiplied. Maybe the government found the original caller and forced him to recant, or found someone close enough to pass. Maybe the original caller was never found at all. Maybe he was triangulated just like he feared. Maybe the second caller was a plant, sent by military intelligence to close the loop and kill the story before it spread further than tape trading networks could carry it. But the satellite failure is the part that can't be explained away. You can fake a voice. You can fake a script. You can hire an actor to call a radio show and pretend to be terrified. But you can't fake a satellite dying 22,000 miles above the Earth. You can't fake an Earth station losing its lock at the exact moment of a reveal. That takes real power. That takes infrastructure. That takes someone who was listening and had the ability to reach into space and end the conversation. The incident changed the landscape of paranormal broadcasting. It proved that late night radio could produce moments that felt genuinely dangerous, not scripted, not safe, not entertainment. Every paranormal show that came after Coast to Coast AM, every conspiracy podcast, every late night live stream chasing the strange and unexplained exists in the shadow of Art Bell's studio in Pahrump. And the frantic caller is the moment that sealed it. The moment the audience believed, truly believed, that someone powerful was listening to the same broadcast they were. Art Bell kept going. He hosted Coast to Coast for another 6 years before his first retirement in 2003. He came back. He always came back. He died in 2018 in that same trailer in Pahrump, surrounded by his equipment, his transmitter still standing nearby. The show continues without him. The caller warned about extra-dimensional beings inside the government. He warned about planned disasters and population reduction. In 1997, it sounded like paranoid fantasy. Today, those warnings had echoed through decades of conspiracy theory, growing louder as trust in institutions has fallen apart. Maybe he was crazy. Maybe he was an actor who got lucky with his timing. Maybe the satellite failure really was a coincidence, a 1 in a billion glitch that happened at exactly the wrong moment. Or maybe someone was listening, someone who didn't like what they heard, someone who reached into the sky and pulled the plug before the caller could say too much. The audio's still out there. You can listen to all of it right now. The fear in that man's voice is real, or it's the greatest performance in radio history. And somewhere 22,000 miles above the Earth, a satellite that failed could